Welcome to the Crooked Stripes Podcast, where your hosts discuss various aspects of lawn care, landscaping, and snow removal. Let these two friendly Canucks help you cultivate a different outlook on the green industry. And with that, here are your hosts, Brendan Brubaker and Martin Hodder.
All right, guys, we're back for another episode of the Crooked Stripes. I'm Brandon Brubaker. Martin, what's going on, man?
This is it. Just battling out winter.
Yep, you're still battling those snowstorms out there.
Yes, sir.
That's good. And we got a very special guest with us today. We met this guy down at the show. We might have mentioned him a few times in our opening intro. I got Tyler Kent with 519 Property Maintenance. Tyler, how are you doing today?
Good, man. It's
good.
Little snow here, little trace, but nothing crazy. So
yeah,
nothing
nice.
like Martin.
No, nothing
not a whole lot of that.
I don't
going
think
on
anyone
anywhere
could
else.
really compare there right now.
No, not this year. 7 feet of snow. After this is all done, it'll be something else. So
yeah, not after hearing last week of what you went through, right? So you got another storm on the way now that you're gonna battle through. So
yeah, just keep grinding it out, and next thing you know, I have to buy some more gear to keep on going.
Yep, I love it. Yeah, you have to do what Tyler's doing. That's good. No, we met Tyler down at the show. You crazy animals decided to drive, so I don't know how you did that on the way back, but anyways.
We made it. That was a trip, man.
Mm-hmm.
I was supposed to sleep. I was like, I'm going to sleep before we go, right? We're gonna try and sleep during the day, and then you're going to drive in the night. Yeah, it didn't happen. It's just like, you stay up, you drive all night, and then it was like, well, it started 30 minutes ago. I guess we should just head over.
Yeah, makes for a long day for sure. Because you were doing like quotes and stuff too, weren't you? I think you were talking about that.
I forget what we were doing. We were doing the timing, but yeah, we were doing something right before, and I was still in the shop, and then Aaron's like, well, I'm headed to you to pick you up in a couple hours. I'm like, well, I'm already at the shop, so just see you soon.
Yeah, just
keep it going.
In the bag, and
went through and drove through.
And that was your first time too there, right? At Equip?
Yeah. Was it
Yeah.
your guys? All of you guys?
Yeah.
It was something else.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it was nothing compared to Landscape Ontario. I didn't get there this year because we had snow. So
yeah, right. Yeah, I went to Landscape Ontario. It was good, but
how did you feel after you went to Equip? Because you weren't at Landscape Ontario before, right?
No, I didn't go to either.
So you got the big one first. I got the big one. I did Landscape Ontario last year, and then we went to Equip. So it's like it was kind of a step. Where you went the other way. So I feel like for you, it would have been like, this just is so much different.
Yeah, it was, like Martin and I said, a little overwhelming, to lead it off with that big show down in Kentucky. But
yeah.
And
it was still good. Like it's still, it's still cool to see.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, Landscape Ontario, they do a great show. It's, in the Toronto Convention Center. Like it's similar vibes, but maybe about not even a quarter as big. So whatever. It's good to see everyone and, see some familiar faces. So no, it's all good.
For sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
No, why don't you just kind of go through how you got into this industry, Tyler? And I know you started off doing something else and, kind of why you do it and what you guys got going on over there in Woodstock.
Yeah, so getting into it, I was, before I did all this, I was at Toyota, just a manufacturing plant there. And you kind of, when I was left school, I guess, once I finished college, I kind of got in there to pay off, debt or to the goal to buy a house or whatever, right? So you start making good money and then you just kind of get set in your ways. You got benefits, you got holidays, you got money coming in. It's good, right? Toyota pays well. And it was just like, it was so brutal. I was like, I just hated my life, switching shifts every 2 weeks, no progression. You can't, you got to be there 10 years to become a team leader. So you kind of get in this rut where it's like, and some people, and I always said this when I left, that, hey, if you love it here, great. But some of us, like you guys, would have the mindset of you want to grow, you want to do new things, you want to maybe treat people better than you were treated when you were at another job, right? There's different things that entrepreneurs or leaders or bosses have that want to do. So I'm sitting there like, okay, how do I grow? How do I do this or that? And there really wasn't that much opportunity there. So I said, okay, I got to get out of here. So the next thing was, well, what did I enjoy doing? And I always kind of had a side hustle of this kind of stuff, whether it was snow or lawn care stuff or landscaping stuff. And I always enjoyed it when I was younger. So I went into that. And yeah, the first year was just, I actually battled staying at Toyota and doing all the lawn and snow on the side. So I was actually going into work from 6:15 to 3:30, and then at 3:30 I would go and cut grass until like 8 p.m. till I lost daylight, and then I would go back to work the next day.
Right.
Because I knew I wasn't going to be dumb enough to leave my job that paid me 75 grand and go, okay, I'm going to start a company and somehow have all this money to just do it.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, well, we'll part-time it. And on the days that I was on afternoons, I started at 5:45. So I had all day after I slept to be able to start the business.
Okay.
So I kind of started it that way. And that turned into doing one season of that and going, okay, there's enough work here. We're doing good work. We're getting a lot of reviews. We're getting feedback that it's working. You know, what we're doing is what people like. So I made the jump. I left and yeah, after that, it went from one guy to one extra helper to two to now we're at 13, 14 guys over the winter. So
nice.
It's been a quick jump. But yeah, I like it. So it's been good. It's a good progression. It's fast.
Because that's only been a few years, hasn't it, since you've done?
Yeah, man. This is third year in winter.
Third.
Wow.
We'll be fourth year. Technically would be like the fourth year of lawn care would be this season, or our fourth year technically would be this year, I guess.
So you were pretty much right at the start of COVID, just kind of, because that had been a similar time.
That was it.
Yeah. So it was a really good time.
That was a good time because there was a huge demand for it too, right? Like everyone for some reason had a ton of money and they're like, well, what do we spend money on? So it was like more people are wanting to spend money on those things. Yeah. Now we're seeing a little bit of a change. We're seeing the interest rates and everything in our area has kind of changed.
Yeah.
But during COVID, it was like everyone was just like, well, I don't want to go out. I'm happy with being lazy at home. We're going to pay people to do our snow. We're going to pay people to do our lawn. We're going to pay people for landscaping. So all of the industries in my area were like, we're thriving in COVID. Like there's a ton of business in COVID.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it was a good time to start, I guess, right? That I wasn't like getting into it when everyone was like, no one wants to hire anyone right now.
Right.
Yeah, a booming time for sure. And it seemed like that was like all across Canada, like everything, like our type of industry just went crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Martin, you got busy around COVID, I remember.
Yeah, we jumped from like 4 guys to 10 or 11, same time period that year, right? Everything just, nobody wanted to do anything themselves. People that couldn't go anywhere, so they're just spending their money instead of traveling, making their yard nice, doing whatever. So they don't mind looking at their yard that might have looked like shit beforehand and fix it right up.
So
nice.
Yeah, that's kind of, and obviously as you start, you start and you kind of get into, say, the residential. All right, so we started mainly, that's all we were chasing is just, it was easiest to get into the Facebook groups or whatever it was, right? But now it's kind of making our shift now to kind of out of that area and just strictly commercial industrial is the plan.
Nice.
We're still doing some residential stuff, obviously. Spring work's easy to do, aeration's rolling, dethatching, seeding, overseeding, stuff like that, fertilizing. Right. But as far as snow, like I don't touch anything snow in residential. Lawn care's still there for the people that want to pay it. Yeah. But the days of cutting grass for $30 for a residential little lawn is just not.
Oh, I know.
It's not for us with the size we're at and the equipment we have now. Yeah. There definitely would be people out there that could probably still make it do with $35 on the lawn. For us, for me to send 2 guys out in a trailer, a truck, insurance, it's not there anymore, right? And we could get 150 of them, but why? Well, but to come back with a couple bucks at the end,
I know,
just to pay the guys, it's kind of pointless for us.
Yeah, totally agree.
But that's where I do miss being like the owner operator type, like one helper or like one guy or the smaller guy, because you could pound out a ton of lawns, like doing it like that with like no bills and having just like a small trailer or one trailer and a couple mowers, and you could kill it. Like, and there are people out there that do that, are pumping out 20 lawns, 2 guys every day for a cheaper price.
We do that we do that with our residential mowing. Like, we have 2 guys, they have 2 mowers, 1 trailer. They're doing 33 to 35 lawns a day. They do our whole route in 4 days, and it's just like boom, 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 on to the next. I mean, we're obviously not getting hundreds of dollars a cut, but we're probably like 45, $50 a cut.
Yeah.
And you can make pretty good margins on it, right? Because our routes are so tight.
Yeah.
Our fuel costs,
if you can get that.
Yeah. So it's just tight, a different model.
Yeah,
right?
if you can get it tight, and you got guys that are efficient in that too, and not treating it like as a commercial. Like, with commercial, like, we have a set price per month. It doesn't really matter. Sometimes you're skipping it for a week. You can kind of have a different pace. Now, if you tell you got to have certain guys that are on pace with your model as well to be like, hey, we got 30 lawns to cut today. We got to kind of move, right? Like,
oh yeah.
But yeah, we have a couple of places where there's like 4 houses side by side, and they're not $60, $70, $80 lawns. So you can make it happen, because at 4 cuts, banging out 4 at whatever the rate was, it's still profitable. They didn't move. Yeah. The one guy that was trimming went house to house to house, right?
Yeah, the trailer doesn't move, right? So that's where we make our money. Because like, there's spots we'll park once and we'll do 9 houses on the street. We'll do 4 on one side. We'll walk across the street and do 5, huge. Right? So like, but that's been 13 years of building that route and getting it tight. And it's nice too, because then it rolls right into our snow removal, which does the exact same thing, because we just go back and forth across the street. Yeah. So
right.
Yeah. So if it's set up right, there's still money to be made in residential. But if there's if you're hopping across town for a 10-minute drive, a 12-minute drive, whatever it is on each one,
that ain't worth it.
Yeah, it's got to be good. It's got to be a decent sized lot.
Yeah, for sure. So
no, it's got to be worth it. No kidding.
But yeah, that's kind of where we, I guess, created and started, and how it kind of came about. And I obviously like the spring, summer, fall season. It's a lot nicer to operate in. It's a lot nicer scheduling.
Definitely.
But I have, for some reason, this passion to chase the snow the most, to be honest. I mean, that's where we're busiest right now, and that's where we've kind of chased, is that snow industry. So, but we'll always be in the full season property maintenance division.
Nice.
It's because a lot of these factories do it, right? Like,
right.
Yeah. If you go to a big factory and you say, we only do the snow, well, if they can get a guy that does the snow and the lawn, they're probably going to go to that guy, because it's easier to deal with one company than it is to deal with 2, 3, whatever, right? Oh, you got to hire a guy for the fertilizing, then we got to hire a guy to cut it, hire a guy to snow. So we'll always be there. Yeah. And nice. I do like the lawn care stuff. I just wish this area would keep up with the pricing, right?
I know it's
hard. It's hard to provide such a nice, and you guys all do it. You post these nice cuts, and you wish everyone kind of kept it at the right price it should be, so we can all provide that, right?
I know, because the reality is, as much as we might care about the stripes and the sharp edges, 90% of people could care less. That's what I've learned. Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah, we've had some weird instances, like there's a drone video on my page, actually, of an overhead. It's a farmhouse in the country. Crazy long stripes in this, like, a nice estate. But we did a drone video on it, and that was a specific call. We cut them every week, but it was a specific call. Hey, you guys cut us on Monday, but can you come back Friday and double cut with stripes? We want to look like crazy upscale. We have a wedding event or whatever. I've had another one where we did a wedding venue. We've had another one where we did like a retirement party, and they call us. We cut our own lawn, for example, every week. But hey, can you guys come in and do the fanciness?
Nice. Okay.
So it's kind of cool to have that. I like doing that, because you're charging them a price to basically double cut. It's going to be perfect. They can take their time, perfect it, and you're
getting that premium pay and premium service.
Yeah. And that's nice. That's what it's all about. That's good. Yeah, I've noticed you guys have kind of dug into the snow game a little bit more. Do you want to kind of touch on that? Because I think it's cool what you guys are doing.
Yeah. So I guess I did trial. We did I did residential when I first got into it. nothing equipment wise, just blowers and stuff. And to be honest, man, I guess so many calls for it. It's like I kind of every year always think, okay, I'm going to go back into it, but then it's just hard to coordinate with finding guys to do it, adding more trucks to be able to maintain it. And to be honest, the commercial industrial is nice because I can plow at 1 a.m., 3 a.m., 5 a.m. and not disrupt anyone. Where I know some guys that say, hey, we don't get any kickback for it, but also I've been in neighborhoods when I was doing it, and I'm like, I fired that blower up at 4 a.m. and they're like, you get a couple lights on in the neighbors, and you're like, uh-oh. Yeah. I've woke someone up.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you get 10 snow blows a year, it's like, is it really the end of the world for that? I don't know. I guess,
Yeah.
But yeah, we've mainly went into the commercial. We just do commercial industrial.
Nice.
Preferably large lot, large factory, snow removal. Tractors, loaders. We have truck plows, but the majority of the time are salting. They do have couple small routes that they do for the smaller places, but for the most part, we're chasing down the bigger factories, the bigger lots, the trucking yards,
right?
Factories, stuff like that.
Okay, nice. Okay.
You're running Kubotas for your tractors too, right? The M7s?
Yeah, so Kubota M6s. Kubota M6s, I got 2 of those, and then our Kubota skid steer as well, which is mainly our salt loader at the shop. But yeah, Kubotas, and I love them. They're so, like, I was on the phone today with another guy in the area, and he was talking about them. Like, they're just so, for us, they're so easy. They're so easy for us to teach someone. I could have Brandon come down tomorrow and be like, hey, you don't got to worry about anything with your angle on your blade as far as loader. There's no articulation. When you want to put that blade down, you drop it down. You drop it into float, you go to town. You want to get to the pile, you lift back. As far as the shifting, there's other things. But as far as the blade control, you want to twist the blade left, you turn your thing left. You go right, you turn left. You want to use your wing as a button on the back. You hold the wing in, you go out, opens your wing. Hold it in, your wing's in. Like, it's so simple. There's no worrying about, like, not putting the blade down a perfect way. And those Kubotas with the paddle shifting and stuff, and like, I can throw that thing in reverse as I'm going forward, no clutch, and clutches itself, puts me back.
Yeah, it's pretty.
It's simple, man. It's nice. So,
and you run.
I do love them, and our dealer was great. So
yeah,
nice.
Well, like, I think most Kubota dealers are pretty. From what I've seen and heard from, like, people I've talked to, like, most Kubota dealers are pretty bang on, right? So
I think they're definitely putting a push in the next. Well,
that's what I'm seeing,
and I think in the next 5 years we're going to see a huge push.
Okay,
well, I see it. I see it already starting. With what Kubota is doing.
Yeah, and even cost wise, like, if you compare, like, a loader to something like that, like a new loader, anywhere from 350 probably 300, 350 and up. One of those tractors, 225, 250, depending what you, like, how you outfit it and what model and stuff. Like, that's a big difference if you're expanding to grow and adding multiple units, right?
Yeah. So give you an idea, just so if you look at, our equipment, you were to look at our fleet or whatever, that tractor out there with the blade, Metal Plus, which is also 10 grand more than an HLA. So I'm paying a premium blade price. It's not the tractor to do with anything, but the tractor and the blade set up 140 G's, right? At 0%.
Nice.
Right?
Yeah.
That, even my 910, which is a smaller, it's not smaller, it's still a big loader, but it's not, I guess, a massive loader. 230, 240. So you're almost 100 grand more, right?
Wow.
Now, can you stack higher? Yes. Can you maneuver a bit better? Yes, than a tractor. But if we're talking, I got to grow in the next 5 years, I got to add 5 machines in the next 5 years. If I have to buy 5 tractors, I got an extra couple $100 grand to save unless I'm buying 5 loaders. Right?
Yeah, that's kind of the way I'm looking at it too, right? As you try to grow this stuff, like, their 0% is incredible. And, like, you're basically, depending what it is, like, hey, set up, you can get, like, a machine and a half for the price of one loader. Yeah. And the road speed, I think they're faster too, aren't they? Like, your 910 will do what, like 35?
Yeah, it'd be
maybe
like
40.
35 downhill. I'll hit up to like 37, 38 with that blade
Mm-hmm.
on. With
Mm.
my tractors, I'm clicking around like 40, 42, 40,
Yeah,
42 kilometers an
and that
hour.
and that makes
Which
a big
that's you're
difference
almost up to
too.
the speed limit in town, right? Like you're
Yeah,
10 kilometers off. You're
Yeah.
not like driving 20 and the guys are losing it behind you. In a
yeah,
snowstorm, people are probably driving 40 anyway.
yeah. They're not going much faster, right? So you're
So
just kind of you're staying with
yeah,
traffic. Because I know
yeah,
I had a guy down the last storm there with the loader and stuff, and it was super nice machine. Like it was pretty much brand new. It was a 920 cat, and I was
yeah.
watching him like what he can do with it, and I'm like,
It
huh,
is
like
nice.
yeah. So
Yeah,
and I'm kind of at the point. I'm at a weird spot now where I do a bunch of residential. That's kind of but we're getting all these like apartment complexes, and there's roads and stuff, and like the Kubotas I have are fine for it, but it just takes
yeah.
a
Hmm.
really long time. So I'm just kind of trying to
If I
figure out my
if I
next
was
step.
you, if I was you looking at like kind of what you I guess had recently, and
Hmm.
I mean I don't know all your properties, but like looking at it ahead, I'm like thinking because you kind of would like a reverse blower for the situations that you just had.
Yeah.
Having like an M5 with like a small wing blade and like a reverse blower would be like amazing because
And
you
it'd
go
be
into
an
those big
animal.
lots, you
Yeah.
can push, but now you need
Yep.
to blow back a pile or you got a driveway that's like, oh, we can't use our inverted. Now you
Mhm.
still got
Right.
your M5 that can now turn around and blow that back.
That's pretty much
Bigger
where
than
I
your
was.
machine now,
Yeah.
right? Now you got some
Right.
like because you've tried the blade, you got the blade, you got the straight blade situation, but when you start throwing wings on and you can actually scoop and push, and
Yeah.
you're not trying to windrow everything, for example,
Yeah.
I feel
That's
like
because that's a
maybe
bad.
down the
That's the
road, right?
yeah. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Like it might be a next year thing. We're trying to kind of work out some stuff with because even after this last storm, like we picked up six, I think it was 5 or 6 like full apartment complexes because they had people
Yeah,
doing it with plow trucks. And
Right.
then plow trucks aren't worth shit for this.
no,
Like it's
Right.
and even on a 30 centimeter storm, like a plow truck will do it, but it's a battle. But
yeah,
so that's kind of the route I thought I thought you'd be more like more money for that setup that you were at with like the because even my
140.
tractor, yeah, my tractor was like 130 with like the inverted
Yeah,
blower and the blade. So like, but you don't run
I think
blowers on yours,
because
though, do you?
no, we don't.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we have the loader with the bucket, so we can kind of
Hmm.
scoop and like how your guy was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we I battled with if I was going to pick one up this year just to have it.
Yeah.
Kind of glad I didn't because I got grass out there right now.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I'm sure there'll be a time. There's definitely going to be a time where it'd be nice to have. And if anything, we won't go inverted. We'll go, yeah, reverse blower and kind of,
Yeah.
your normal standard blower. And if we got to blow piles back, we'll blow them back.
Mm-hmm.
But with the loader, you do have the capacity
Yeah,
to
you really
scoop it and move it
scoop
too.
and yeah.
Hmm.
But and like I said, I'm hoping we don't get a storm like that ever again. That was a lot of snow.
Exactly. Yeah.
But who knows? Weather's a
Yeah.
fickle
Yeah.
thing. So
Yeah, I know.
I think
But anyway,
reality
you
You
is
can only
that's
guess.
it's going to
Mhm.
happen again to you there, Martin. That's what I think.
So what size blade do you have on the front of those M6s?
So the M6 is a lot of guys actually in the Toronto region. We're setting them up with 10/16s. So
Okay.
10 in the middle, you got your 3-foot wings.
Okay.
When we set those ones up, we bought them at a later time in the year. I couldn't get 10/16s in time, so we went to
Okay.
9/15s.
Okay.
So you got a foot less, right?
Mhm.
Is that gonna make or break you on a lot? No. If anything, it's kind of nicer because that 1 foot less going in between like a car or a gate is
Yeah.
kind of more comfortable. It is.
Gotcha.
I have the 10/16 on the loader, and there's a couple situations where I'm like, this is a little sketch. Like
Yeah,
I'm getting a
you're
little
getting a
too close.
really well, especially with a parking spot. Like
Yeah,
they're probably getting pretty close to 10 feet
yeah,
between cars with mirrors
yeah.
and stuff, right?
So
So,
you don't have any play, right? So
mhm.
I do love that 9. So it is at 9/15. You got 3-foot wings on each side, and then
Okay,
it's like the 36-inch height on the actual
on the blade itself.
board.
Yeah.
Yeah, won't
Huh.
bore you. So
It's
they're
funny.
sweet.
I was gonna message you about this and kind of get your thought on
Yeah,
loader versus tractor versus kind of few
yeah.
different options. But
There's definitely place for both. I will say I've been driving the loader this year, but I also went out multiple storms where we had to do cleanups, and I took the tractor over the loader because
mhm.
I knew that Metal Plus was a
Hmm.
nice clean finish, and I knew that I could fit into a couple different spots a little bit nicer and more comfortable, where I wasn't like stressing that I got this massive loader with this big blade. So,
right.
Yeah, and cool setups. I like them. I like the controls and everything how it's set up.
Yeah. And does it back drag well with like the tractor setup, whatever? Yeah.
Yeah. And I always found that like if there was a couple storms last year where you try to get to the parking spots where the transports are going to back into, but we couldn't get there in time. For example, on a daytime snowstorm, they're constantly moving trucks. So they compact that down. They sit there overnight. Then the next day you go in, and then now they moved it again. So now I got to scrape that up. Well, I got to back drag that out. If I back drag on my first pass and I go, I just didn't get down, the down pressure maybe wasn't like enough to scrape it all up. All I do is I'll bring my wings and kind of tilt them in a bit. I usually got enough room. I'll push in, and it'll scrape it all up, curl it over, lift up at the last foot, put it back down, and now I back drag and I'm completely scraped.
Okay,
so it's kind of a nice way that you can back drag it. It's like usually does amazing,
right?
But if it's ever like really hard packed, I'll push forward till that last half a foot, lift up, push it over, grab the pile. Now I back drag it.
Yeah, especially the wings, you can bring them in and contain it and drag it all back.
And you can get so precise with those wings. Like we'll go in between two parked transports, and I'll be in reverse on my wings back. I'll get to past the wheels, and I'll realize that okay, now I got the middle of the transport where it's kind of dead space, on that tractor trailer. So we'll flow those wings out, kind of grab more under the transport, then pull the wings back in before you get to the posts, and then now you just grabbed more, right? It's just just little things like that. Having the control of those wings at any time is great.
Wow.
And do you run any like specific tires and stuff on them, or are you just like no?
So those tractors, the tractors that we bought, again, that was still like COVID time ish. They were still blaming COVID. That's what it was. COVID was over. They were blaming COVID. Oh, we're delayed. We don't have tires for COVID.
Yeah.
So again, huge delay on if I'm going to get them. So let's just run egg tires, normal tires on them, tractor tires. So the tractors both have tractor tires, just normal tires. The loaders have snows because I was able to get them.
Yeah.
I always said I'll run the tractor tires till I need new tires, and then we'll put snows on them.
Gotcha.
We'll end up putting Nokians or some snow tires on them. So, but right now, like I will say, they're good for the most part. You can get through anything. I would just say if you get a full blade on the front and you're trying to make a tight turn, you'll get a little push out in the wheels. You feel like you got your wheel turning left, but you're kind of going straight.
Yeah.
So our guys are good, and we've kind of obviously you get that feeling when you're driving, and you just pull back off float and kind of lift it off just a centimeter off the ground, and now it's not dragging the front end, so now it can get its steering back.
Gotcha.
Okay.
But
good stuff.
That's the only thing we notice. As far as pushing power straight, no problem.
Okay.
It's just a little bit of turning. It would probably be nicer to have a snow tire, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And that Metal Plus, that's like the bee's knees of all. Like that's what I keep hearing.
Yeah.
Okay. Even though it's that much more.
Yeah, it's $10,000 more or whatever it is than our HLA.
Okay.
But definitely. I mean, again, it'd be one of those things where if you're looking at adding 5 machines in the next year, maybe save the $50,000 and probably put 2 more blades on machines. But if you're looking at doing some nice high-end properties, you want to save on salt, you want to have the versatility, maybe you don't have to change as many tips on them, the edges on them, they stay a lot longer. Then I found that. I mean, we're 4 Metal Plus now and one HLA, so or 3 Metal Plus and 1 HLA. So.
He works.
Yep.
Gets her done. So.
Yep. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Nice. For like a work week, Tyler, I guess the winter's a little different, but summer, do you guys kind of do Monday to Friday, or what do you guys do?
Yeah, I try to everything we schedule as spring, summer, fall work, I try to schedule Monday to Friday. Try to keep everyone with their weekends still.
Yeah.
Now we get into rain days, or in the spring when it's just like there's work for the next 2 weeks straight already. That's when you might get into later days or a weekend work type thing. Last year was good. We had a couple rain days here and there, like in the days, but the next day it's sunny again, and we were able to catch up. For the most part, they're able to have their weekends all the time. And
Nice.
I'm sure there's some guys that we have that would say, "Oh, I'll work all weekend," but
Oh yeah.
then you run into the next a month later, and they're like, "I'm dead, and I can't work, and I feel like I can't keep up." So it's like
that's usually what happens.
I try to balance it evenly so that everyone can still have their weekends. But I always say in the spring, like, "Hey, we got 75 aerations booked, like." And we got to cut grass next week, so that fills the week too. And then we got like this many dethatching jobs still, and it's like, okay, we got to somehow catch up.
Yeah.
And on a light winter like this year, I'm sure the guys are like, we'll take some more hours.
That's
right?
Yeah, exactly. That's true. I know it's been pretty skimpy around here for snow. So, but you guys get more snow than we do in Elmira here. I always look on the map, and you're getting just pounded and. It's sunny here, so I don't know. It's weird.
Even that first storm in the year, November, we had an early one in November.
Yeah.
And it was like 6 or 7 inches. And like the guys in London were like texting me and they're like, dude, we have nothing. And I'm like,
really?
We're full on plowing over here.
Yeah.
How did it come off Huron and literally hit Woodstock, didn't hit Brantford, and didn't hit London?
Okay.
So I don't know. It's a weird way where it comes off that lake.
I know. It seems to always
we get some weird ones.
I know. Get you guys Stratford. It always seems to get Stratford.
Stratford always gets smoked.
Yeah, and then it kind of just dies. I don't know. So crazy.
Yeah, it's different. So, but yeah, our lawn care is usually set up. I try to set it up so that we also have like a half day or a full day kind of safety net for rain, for excess growth, whatever it is. So
some maintenance.
We can still stay on pace.
Nice. Oh, that's good.
This year, I think, I don't know, I'm trying to think back, but I feel like there was one month, like May or June, that was dry. But then like we got rain for the rest and we were cutting every week. Like it didn't stop.
It was looking a little scary in May. I remember that. I thought, oh my gosh, we're going to have such a dry summer, but then it rained nonstop.
Yeah.
Which is
because guys, that's what it was. Because we had a ton of rolling left, and people were like, "Are you going to be able to get them?" I'm like, well, the ground's already rock hard. There's been no rain. I'm not going to come roll nothing. Like it's hard.
Right.
So see how this year is, but
we'll probably still have snow on the ground.
Yeah, you guys will have friggin' snowbanks till July.
Yeah, that's what everyone keeps telling me. We have snow.
We're gonna come cut your grass, but we got to go around the snowbank that's still at 3 feet.
Oh, it's something else. Because like I said, we still got 8 weeks of this left. Like
I know
we're in trouble. I think it's gonna be late. Late.
Tyler, we might be going out to help him out.
I know. I said so many times, like I wish he wasn't 20 hours away.
I know, same. I said we'd love to help you, but you're just a little too far from the boys.
Like you guys could have had so much work. The city was taking anything they could have. They would take it. Do roads. Some guy was getting paid. He had 4 skid steers out, getting paid $350 an hour to dig out fire hydrants.
Wow,
it's so crazy. Yeah. It's a killer because it was like too. If like okay, what if we just like you just. But we need to go out with equipment, so that was the problem. It was like, okay, we could probably get there in a truck, like 4x4. You get there, you can probably get in there, but getting in there with like a loader on the back and like driving that far,
that's a whole other ball game.
There'd be a lot of fuel.
Yeah, big time. But like I said, it was it was crazy. Just people like going around with like 4-ton excavators digging out the front of buildings. Like you couldn't shovel it, and that's what people were doing. They're just. Yeah, it was wild. So, what?
Yeah,
winter in Cape Breton, I guess. So it is what it is.
You never know.
Yeah.
You were begging for it earlier in the year. Now
I said
that
earlier,
to him.
I was wishing for snow. I was like, hopefully get a little because the last couple of years we were like maybe 11 and 13 plows or something, and like we got more snow this week than we did all of last year in 36 hours or something. Stupid.
So crazy.
Yeah. But
I turned on the radar a couple times and just watched it. And it didn't move, man. Yeah, it was like come off the lake and just keep circling over you the whole time. It was like it wouldn't how like they always predict the radar, like, oh, it's gonna go like this.
Yeah.
No, yours just went it just stays right here and just kept going and going.
Well, there was at least a centimeter an hour for like 70 2 hours straight. And like at some point there was one point I think it peaked at I think it was like 10, just over 10 centimeters an hour. Like you literally couldn't see anything.
Insane.
Yeah,
that's so crazy.
Oh, well, the boys survived it. No one quit. No one died.
That's good.
We're on to the next one.
Yeah,
any other storm's gonna feel like a breeze now. Like the next time we get like a 5 centimeter storm.
Oh yeah, you're gonna get a couple inches and be like, "This is amazing."
Yeah, this is nothing. This is like 4 hours. We're done. We're going back home. Like this is golden.
Yeah.
But
no,
yeah,
all
winter.
Nice, Tyler. What do you do any marketing, or I mean, did you, and kind of what did you kind of do, and how? Maybe touch on that.
Yeah, so I think this is what's gonna. I mean, we're already doing very rapid growth now. I think this year is my year that's gonna be like, oh my God, because I'll be honest with you, man. Like we don't. If you were to look at our trucks, which you've probably seen a video, we don't have graphics on our trucks, and that was just a situation where when I first created the logo and the company, didn't love it, and then we were in the process of like this long process of trying to get it switched. So we changed the branding of the company, changed the logo. So I never wanted to like brand the trucks and then be like, oh, now we got to rebrand all the trucks again, pay thousands more. And then it's winter, so it's very hard to brand trucks in winter because one, we're in salt every day. It's like you got to get them clean. We got so much equipment on them. There's not even tailgates on the trucks. Like there's just so much. So I'm like, okay, we're gonna get all this set up so that in spring, trucks are branded. So as far as branding on trucks, marketing on the trucks, this is going to be our first year with like marketed trucks.
Nice.
Which I think is going to change everything because it's not like there's going to be one truck running around town. We're going to have 4 or 5 trucks running around town.
Right.
And all of a sudden it's going to be like, where did these 509 trucks come from in a sense, right?
Yeah.
Like if you guys had 4 trucks running around town every year for the last 2 years, you never had a logo on. They're probably and we get asked this question, be like, who are you guys? Like we'll be filling up salt at our depot and the guy will be like, hey man, that guy's actually asking who you guys are because they see you, they don't know who you are. And that's just a matter of us rebranding and just didn't have it in time for fall. So I think that's going to change a ton. But in the past, for marketing wise for us was big on social media. I think it's 60 to 70,000 ish on TikTok, and then I think there's like 18,000 range on Instagram. We post on Facebook, but and I do run Facebook ads sometimes, but I don't. It's not multi-thousands of any sort on Facebook. So, but yeah, huge on social media. A lot of work has, I'd say, 70% in the beginning, if not more, was coming from social media alone. We see your videos, we see you guys online, we see your posts, whatever it was. So a lot from there. We do run ads in certain seasons. I won't run them like all year. I had a Facebook ad yesterday or last week show up for lawn care already in my area from someone else, and nothing against them. I'm not going to be pumping money in right now. There might be a couple calls, but I kind of like to wait until it's closer. Yeah. We will run ads in certain seasons, but for the most part, our marketing, I trialed a bit of door hanger stuff. Be honest, I didn't get anything from it. Trialed it, so I personally won't go back there a lot. I get people like you guys probably do too that message your page, their newer lawn care companies. Hey, what should we do for marketing? When should we market? I would market when the time's right. When they basically say we're above zero every night and you're going to be, the melting's happening, or the last 2 weeks of weather that we just had in Ontario here, is that when you start seeing that in March or closer to April is when I'd say market. But yeah, I don't do any door hanger stuff. It'll be the first year with vehicle graphics that are like fully detailed.
Okay, so you're going to go all out with the wraps.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, like we have some custom wraps getting done for our stuff. So I think as soon as I put that in town, when I got 5 trucks running all day through town, I know that we're going to go from, well, we were already busy now we're going to go, jump.
Oh, yeah.
I think, I would hope. It's like it's a billboard driving around, right?
Yeah. Yep.
I think it'll.
But yeah, social media, did some ads on social media. We have some stuff on Google, but I don't run any ads on Google. Tried it, didn't work. Didn't get a response. I get my most response from Facebook ads is where I've seen the most when I pay.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as I don't have anything in town. I don't have any billboards. There's a couple companies in town with billboards. Again, nothing against anything that anyone else is doing. I just haven't spent it there. And I'll be honest, like if I was to grow any faster right now, I don't think I'd have the buying power to keep up. You know, as newer companies, you guys would know, right? Like in the beginning, you can't just you could advertise all you want and have 1,000 jobs, but if you guys only have 3 trucks, 4 trucks, 5 trucks, and you only have a certain amount of guys, you can't take everything.
Nope. Yeah, right? Exactly.
Well, then you just get a bad name too at that point. That's what you're trying not to do, right?
Yeah.
It's like they said they're going to do this work and they can't show up. So
yeah,
that's the thing. And I hated in the spring of not this year but last year. I hated having so much work and not having not being able to keep up, that I had to make someone wait like a week or two to get, like, I know that sometimes for like custom jobs, 2 weeks, no problem. But like when you have an aeration that, or a dethatching job or a seeding job that needs to be done between April and May, and you're telling them in the first week of May that it's looking like 2.5 weeks before I can get to you, I didn't like that. So I was like, okay, I have enough business. We have to just hold back and say, okay, I'd rather create like really good reviews and good work and be like, these guys are great, than to say, yeah, it took them 3 weeks to come and roll my lawn or aerate my lawn because he took on all this work. So I kind of market to a point where I know my guys can keep up and where I can keep up. And if it's, if we can't keep up, I'm not going to keep pumping 1,000 ads because I want to have every single lawn in Woodstock, right?
Yeah, right. Nice. Okay. No, that's good. And you've been doing TikTok lives when you plow. That's been kind of cool.
Yeah.
You've been growing. I know you've got some growth through that. Maybe touch on that a bit.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish I could do something in other seasons with it. I think just snow removal in general, when you're watching someone do it, is satisfying.
Yes.
And once you kind of get set up and where you can hook them on that, it kind of creates a thing. I did a couple this year and I've done a couple last year, and like I'd hit end live and it was something like you had 46,000 people watch over the hour.
Wow.
Which is like crazy, right? It's because it's like, to think that like 46,000 people tuned in to watch me like plow this lot is weird.
Yes.
I wish there was more ways that we could do this with like lawn care stuff, but I find that like there's so much detail work or like different work that you do with lawn care, like moving to the next site is like trying to keep them entertained after the first lawn is like you're going to lose people. We're like, when I'm driving down the street, I don't lose anyone in a loader in the middle of a snowstorm for some reason.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I try to go live throughout a couple times, 3 times, different times. I find obviously the evening closer to midnight range, 8 to midnight range is like the best.
Okay.
If you're out,
right.
A lot of people already ate dinner. They're sitting on the couch watching TV and they're bored, or they're scrolling before they go to bed. I found that to be the best response. You try to go live at 3 a.m. It's a little harder, right?
Yeah, right.
Not as many people on the app.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, it's been really cool. Grew a lot. You'd shut off the live and it'd say, oh, you have 450 new followers from that live, and it's like, oh, all right.
That's pretty cool.
So,
yeah,
right. It's kind of cool to see. A lot of people interact. A lot of people tell you you're doing something wrong, so that's fun.
Yep. Oh yeah, TikTok. They love.
You're in the wrong loader. You're in the wrong blade. Oh, you shouldn't have backdragged that way.
Sure. Yeah. All right.
People
man,
that probably never
good.
plowed snow before.
Yeah.
You had to do it.
Yeah. Martin always says, imagine if you had 46,000 people like around your parking lot watching you plow. That would be insane.
Yep.
Or to mow a lawn.
Yeah. You know what's really weird is so we had people hop in that live from like, oh, out in BC, wherever, the States, what state are you in? I'm like, we're in Canada anyways. But then you get the people, for some reason mine will target my specific area as well. So I have guys that are like, I just drove past you on the road. Like, I'm watching you and I just drove past you.
No way.
Or they're like, I'll have like 100 people from like my specific town watching, and they're like, oh, you're heading down Parkinson right now. You're about to head toward the Enbridge Gas. Like, people like actively watching their own town.
That's so funny.
So it's kind of cool because like you're interacting and you know that those people are watching you.
Yeah.
And the one person's like, hey, that's my factory. I work tomorrow morning. It's like, I'm
that's
actually
cool.
like at their job, right? So it's like, not only are we interacting with like just people that like to watch it in general all across the world.
Yeah.
You have people that are in your specific town watching you. So then it's like, then it's a marketing thing, right? And then you're like, oh, that's the company that does our job. Yeah. Oh, they do lawn care. I'm going to call them for, whatever.
Nice. Yeah. That's great. Huh. They feel like a personal connection almost with you,
Yeah, and you try to interact, and I watched a couple of years. You try to interact with everyone's questions, but I'll tell you, when you start getting up into 2,000 people shooting comments, you can't read them all because I'm going to hit a poll. You gotta watch where you're going.
Yeah. Got to draw the line somewhere.
But no, it's definitely cool to interact, and I think it's a different. When I talk to different brands or different companies about different things, like, oh, we see you do this or that, and it's like. It's cool because, like, obviously we're marketing to do our work. Like, we still have to go and cut the grass. We still have to go and just plow the snow. But we also get to interact with, like, thousands of people that like to watch your content. And, on your Stripe Life Canada account or, the account which you had it named before, not all those people are, like, looking for your work. But they like what you're doing. And they might eventually know someone that is in that area that you're in that might create more work for you.
Yep.
Right?
Totally.
Yeah, the long game of it, for sure.
Yeah, so. I know it's something you got to consistently do when you're working, and it can be challenging, but it can definitely be rewarding, right? So that's good.
Yeah,
nice,
for sure.
Cool. What software do you use? Are you a Jobber fella like ourselves?
I'm a Jobber fan.
Nice.
I have had my conversations with Jobber. I love Jobber, but we need another network for winter, so we use another Yeti Snow Yeti for winter, which is very detailed toward the snow industry, and I think Jobber eventually will fully cater, but they've fully admitted to us that, hey, we're not set up fully for you snow guys that are doing this. Like, we're not there yet. But I pay for it all year, and I use it as soon as spring hits. It's like, boom, we're back, right? Spring, summer, fall. Okay. And even all our invoicing for winter still goes through Jobber. The only thing we don't use Jobber for is just tracking our snow, because it's so detailed, and I have places that are like, I cannot miss a log. I cannot miss a single record that we were there and what time we were there and what they did and a photo and this and that. So they're definitely... they always talk to us and be like, hey, what can we do? And we always give our feedback. But yeah, we're full Jobber. Everything's invoiced through there full season. It's everything's scheduled through there. We had yard books before and outgrew it, like I think everyone eventually does.
Yeah.
And then
what was the snow one? Yeti Snow?
Yeah, Yeti Snow or Snow Yeti. I can't even remember
Snow
off
Yeti.
the top of my head, but
I have heard of that now that you say that.
Okay.
Maybe you can look
so
at
that
Martin,
one Yeah, so that one's just Yeti snow management systems, and
okay,
a little bit more detailed. Guys can go in, start a shift. They pick their equipment. They're in 550 with the Hilltip Salter, or they're in the M6 with the Metal Plus. They pick their machine, and then they have a route. So we have multiple routes set up, whether it's salting, whether it's plowing, or whether it's all sites. They can go in, click their site. They get a full map view of the overhead, where the snow gets plowed to, where it doesn't, where the sidewalks are. Any description, maybe it's a key code to get in, 1, 2, 3, 4 to get in the keypad, whatever it is. And then they start their site, and it starts timing them from the time they're in that site till the time they leave. It's also tracking the time they started their shift till the time they finish their shift. And they got 1x beside it, 2x if they go there 3 times in a storm, 4x. And then it's all detailed down to like, what was the snow condition when you were there? Oh, it's flurries. What was the ground condition? Boom. It autofills your date, your site, your address. It autofills the temperature outside. And then you just put how many snow inches are down.
Wow.
And I can log into my computer at any time and see, I got guys at this site, that site, that site, that site. So I'm running an iPad in the loader now, and I can see where everyone is and what they've done. So it's just a little bit more detailed towards snow, and
they must all be like all the properties must be like geofence, so like a timer would start kind of when you auto pass through, and then
Okay. So it's just very detailed, full records of when they were there, what they did, how the snow was, how it was before and after, this and that, and it kind of puts us in a safer position for lawsuits, insurance stuff, right?
Because you guys handle some pretty sensitive lots, so you definitely need that feature. Okay.
You got hundreds of employees going in and out, and
Right.
you know, just to have a record that the guy was there at 8:51 for 19 minutes and he salted the front walkway, and here's his after photo, and then at 21 minutes after he left, a guy slipped and broke his leg. It's like, well, in our contract, we did what we were supposed to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To our best ability. We can't stay there all day.
Yeah.
Right? So you have to, you know, it's the best way for us to cover ourselves. Now, get away with residential driveways and stuff, you probably don't need that, but when you get into the factories, I can also at any time print a spreadsheet off of the full record of that storm and who was there and when they did and what they did if the company ever asked for it. Hey, you guys weren't here salting, you know? Yeah, we were. We had guys in it this time, this time, and this time, and this is what they did, right? So,
okay. Oh, that's cool. Wow.
So you must
Nice.
have GPS in all your machines as well, do you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
we actually, like, when we got the Kubotas, we actually paid for Cellutrack right from, like, the dealership. I don't know if you've heard of that, but
Yep.
I paid 3 years right up front, and that's been the coolest for us for the tractors. If this leaves my shop right now, I get an exit zone alert. I know that it just left the zone. I can control that whole tractor by my phone, so I can turn it off, turn it on. So get full tracking on it. And nowadays with everything getting stolen, man. It sucks.
kidding.
Yeah. People don't want to pay for nothing, just take it themselves.
Yeah. Didn't someone try to break into your shop? Was that last year, Tyler? I remember seeing that on your story.
Last year we had a guy get into the shop.
Right.
And he will walk through my office and then into the shop portion and videotaped all of our equipment. Yeah.
Wow. And then left.
And then walked back to my office, filmed my office again, walked back to the shop, filmed more, and then closed the door and walked out. Well, I started going down the street. We got notification for it on our phone. Like we're out plowing. It was like 3 a.m.
Right.
And I get notifications, start going crazy. And I'm like, I scheduled guys for 5 a.m. Why is there someone in the shop at 3 a.m.? And I'm like, this isn't right. So I like stopped, looked at the camera, and I'm watching this guy like film my skid steer, film my mowers, like film everything. And I'm like, oh boy.
Here we go.
So we literally left our tractors and hopped in one of the trucks that was parked out at the one factory and bolted through town. We found the guy on the side of the road. We called him in and got arrested.
Got him.
Yeah.
Nice. Wow,
so
that's
we forced him to delete his full footage on his phone. And then,
nice.
And then we're smart enough to know that, there's a recently deleted file too.
Yeah.
So we made him go to that.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So we're like,
some people,
he didn't take anything, bro. There was like GoPros in here, like drones, like electric stuff that you could just grab. Like you're not going to grab a skid steer, but you could grab like a phone. You could grab a GoPro.
Yeah.
He didn't touch anything.
Wow.
I think he was going to be sending that video to his buddy for the comeback the next week,
Yeah. For the crew to come
I know where everything is in that shop over there.
Yep, that's true.
Nothing worse than these, man. It's brutal.
Yeah.
That's brutal.
Useless.
Wow.
But,
well, Tyler, do you have any future plans or goals for the next few years?
I think we're just going to keep on this push here.
Nice.
Keep on putting a push on everything and
you're
filter out obviously the smaller stuff, just because the bigger stuff is now taking over. And you kind of depend. Certain people maybe don't do the numbers, but we kind of break it down and go, okay, we made, after paying everyone this, the fuel, the insurance, we made $7 on that lawn. Is it really? I know. You kind of look at that and go, okay, we got to either up the price and they leave, or they continue with us, or two, we just have to say, okay, it's just, it's not worth the $7.
Yeah.
Obviously. It's not worth running the kilometers up on the truck to do lawns for the profit of whatever.
Yeah, I know.
And it might not be $7. I was just, throwing out a number, but, I think we're going to filter out some of the smaller stuff. Definitely chasing down the big stuff still. The big industrial commercial property maintenance game is kind of where I want to head and keep going. And yeah, I don't really have a limit. If anyone in this area knows or has seen, they're probably like, what's wrong with this guy going full tilt? It's just we're gonna keep on pushing and kind of not upset people in the area, but you're kind of like, who are these guys coming in? So it is what it is.
The young guys coming in.
That's the thing, right? There's a lot of companies still that are run by the older guys, and they're like, who are these guys? What are they filming for? What are they, what are they doing that, like, why do they have a camera set up? Like, why are they drone footaging their snow removal? It's just plowing. They don't understand that, like, at any point in time, and I try not to, we've had a couple situations here in the last few weeks, which maybe we could get more detailed with you guys, but we've had some copycats in the last 3 weeks. We've had to say,
the
okay,
copycats.
Maybe get a little bit more creative, but I kind of try not to share too much, but at the same time is, if I'm going to go to battle with another company and the guy's going to be 60, for example, maybe he does a great job with his company, great. But if I'm going to go into that property maintenance company, it's going to be worth a couple $100,000, for example, on a full year, snow, lawn, landscaping, all this stuff. I can at any time say, hey, you go scroll through that Instagram feed or go watch this YouTube video and you can see our work, versus the guy that's going to say, well, we don't even have a website anymore,
But I've been doing this for 40 years.
But I've been doing it for 40 years, and we're going to do a great job, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's on their phones, man. Everyone's on their phones, and social media. Whether it's going to be Instagram in the future, whether it's going to be another app, there's going to be another app, or there's going to be another thing where social media is going to be the thing, right?
Yeah,
and I think that industry is not going away, and I think for what you guys are doing, for what my plan is too, as well, with brands, with companies, there's a market, man. Like you look at any big celebrity, there's a reason why they're doing commercials. Like, they're getting paid to do this and that. And like I said, we're still going to have to do the work, still going to have to cut the grass, still going to have to plow the snow. But hey, if we can partner up with some brands and help us grow faster or do different things better,
absolutely.
It's something you got to spend the money on, right? Like, people don't understand thousands of dollars go into growing a company. Just a trailer alone now. You want a landscape trailer, galvanized, it's 20 feet, you're 10 G's. Like, people don't understand. Like, that's another 10 grand, right? Like,
that doesn't really make money.
You're not.
Yeah.
No.
Right.
And it's the same with a truck. The truck makes money, I guess, because you're out doing the work, but it's the biggest depreciating thing you're going to buy. Even heavy equipment, it does hold value better, but they're just going down. And to be able to have those expenses, and if it's working with Jobber, if it's working with another brand that there's an opportunity for something. I mean, hey, we're already doing these videos and stuff anyways. Why not try and get something out of it?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. These companies need the content, to market themselves, and we're doing the work. So it's kind of a win-win, right? So I've got some weird looks over the years, especially being in Elmira. The Mennonites look at you funny when you got the tripod and the GoPro on your helmet. And I know you drove through. You drove through Elmira the other day, right? Through. You messaged me.
I texted it. I said, man, I don't know if it was at 3 or 4, but I was like, hey, man, I've already seen 3 horse and buggies. And and then I'm like, wait, nope, we're already at 4 now.
Yeah.
I was there for like 5 minutes, man. I was like, this is crazy.
Oh, I know. I don't even notice them anymore. As funny as that is. Just so used to it.
Going to pick up some tires in Alora. I think it's Alora.
At DeBoer's?
That windmill truck caps or whatever.
Oh, yeah, those boys. Yep. Okay. Yeah, they got good rims and tires set up.
They had some brand new tires that had like 10 kilometers on them, and they fit our 2500 that's coming up, and it was going to be like $700 for these all-terrain tires, and they quoted me $1,250 plus tax.
Okay.
For them, the same tires at our tire shop. So I was like, hey, make the drive. It's a sunny day. It's an hour drive.
Out to Elora. Yeah. Nice. Oh, that's good.
$500 savings or whatever. You got to kind of do it when you can. So
yeah, no kidding. Oh, I know. You got to save where you can. Nice. Any words of advice for people listening, Tyler?
Well, if we go off our last couple of weeks here with the I guess copy motions and the things we've had to kind of go through, I would say the best thing is try to still be unique. I mean, nice. I could look at any company and be like, I'm gonna copy everything that Martin does, right? Like, that's great, and you might still get views or you might still get some work, but like, I try my best to try and create different content. Like when we, if anyone knows of Salters, we have a partnership with Hilltip. the Hilltip stuff that I'm creating is going to be the different that if you go to Hilltip's page right now and you look, they're going to post a photo and they're going to say, this is the best salter you can buy. And they're going to show you some cheesy video, for example, right? But if you go to my page, you're going to see, oh, that's the way that Hilltip feels. This is different. The way that Hilltip spreads is, or the way they have that set up with the lights, or the different. I'm going to do different things that isn't going to be the same as what they're posting, right?
Mm-hmm.
You could go to Skag. You could go to Skag's page, for example, right now, and you'll see a Skag photo of this mower, and they're going to say, "Oh, this is the new 60-inch mower." But if I can post a 60-inch Skag mower ripping down crazy stripes and how nice it cuts, or how we do maintenance on it, or how we do different things, it's a little bit more unique. It's a little bit different.
Yeah,
right?
totally.
So obviously, everyone's going to be making videos. You can't say that, oh, he made a video, so I can't make a video. No, I'm just saying, like, you know, if it's your name, if it's your slogan, if it's your website, if it's your logos, if it's the way you're doing things, try to be unique, because eventually everyone's just going to look the same. It's going to be another landscaping crew driving down the road, right? You want to be unique. And like, you know, I know Brandon, if someone's going to drive through your area versus another guy that maybe just cuts the grass, they're going to be like, that stands out. Like,
Right.
They're out there, the way their truck's set up, the way they do their work, whether it's whatever, they're going to notice that company's different. And that's our biggest thing, even when we preach contracts with property maintenance company, or not property maintenance companies, the managers and stuff. And they say, well, on our one of our biggest contracts, we went in with 5 different people that bid it. We were the second highest bid. That means 3 people were quoting lower than me. They picked us. Well, why do you pick us? Well, because of this, and this. Because you're different at the way you did this. You're different at the way you did this. I like the way you communicate. I like the way you do this. The way you present yourself. You got to be different. Because there is lawn maintenance companies, snow removal companies popping up everywhere. As of right now, I see 4 or 5 new ones this year that are going to be in Woodstock. They all follow us. You know, hey, well, we're going to be in Woodstock too. Great. But like, okay, why are you different than everyone else? You got to be somewhat unique, because anyone can just go out and cut the grass or plow the snow.
Yeah.
Uniqueness, and I think the best thing, which I said in the Snow Jobs podcast too, is don't just take everything to take everything. Like, you will survive for 1 or 2 years, and you will go, okay, we are not making $1. We're broke. See another company under that didn't make it, right? It's you got to price it to make money. You got to price it to still, you know, pay yourself, and you know, because at the end of the day, these mowers aren't cheap, man. $16,000 for a brand new stand-on, like.
I know.
Don't just price it to make because you used to make $17 an hour, and now you're thinking, oh, we got $40 for this lawn, but it took us 2 hours to cut it. Like it you know, that's not $20 an hour, man. Like, that's, you gotta price everything proper. Uniqueness, and then I mean, I guess I'd say, yeah, just don't take too much to the point where you're gonna die, because I know myself. I'm sure you guys have went through it, where you're like, I got 100 invoices to do. We still got to go out tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. and you're just dead.
Yeah.
And
I
see a couple companies online that post that. They're like, I'm just dead. I see, and there's some lawn company owners every year in like the middle of the year, they're like, what do you guys do to stay like wanting to keep doing this? Like, I'm just dead. Right? Like, you gotta still maintain, I guess, a normal life of some sort.
Yeah, because I know. You can work all day, all night in this, you know, there's so much work around here that you can just keep going and you'll just burn out.
For the young guys that are 18, 22, whatever, that are starting up, they want to kill it all day, all night, sure. But eventually, if you're trying to start a company and build a company that's going to last and that's going to be able to survive, you're not going to do that for the rest of your life. You're not at 40 going out from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. every day.
I know.
Battle it, I guess, when you're young. But if you're trying to build a company that's going to be like, you know, a bigger company is going to last, 1, you got to price it right. 2, be unique, and 3, you got to structure that properly so that you can last.
Yeah, totally.
Or you'd just be dead, and you're going to say, what am I doing this for?
Yeah. Then tax time comes around, and I don't have any money left. What do? I'm screwed, right? So
now, how do I pay all this taxes that I, you know,
that I couldn't afford, and now we have to do it all again. So
yeah,
it's tough.
No, it's just that'd be I guess the 3 top things that come to my head that I'd say is I mean, you know, keep killing it with social media too. It's obviously it's a battle. It's it takes some time. You guys know.
Yeah, but
it's time.
Yep,
you're gonna have ups and downs. You're gonna have times where you grow insanely, and you're like, "Oh my god, I gained thousands." And then the next time you're gonna be like, "I'm getting, for the young guy, I'm getting 10 likes on this photo." But again, that goes back to the uniqueness, right?
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Good content will.
I don't
always
post
shine
anything
through.
with just wording. I don't post anything with just like a wording page. Maybe an ad I'll do that says we do this, this, and this. But if you go onto some big companies, like every post they make is like that, right? Like,
I know, it's painful.
Have a photo of some stock photo with 5 facts about it in wording, and then they post it, and they're like, "Well, we get no reaction on our Instagram."
Yeah. Well,
no wonder.
Take that machine out in the next snowstorm and blow snow and make a video. I guarantee you get a lot more reactions, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Easy as that. That's why they need guys like us, right?
Well,
hopefully.
And that's where kind of, I guess, they start working with different people like this, right? That are creating the content for them so they don't have to. So.
Yeah, totally. Nice. Cool, man. Well, that was great. Thanks for hopping on with the boys and chatting what you got going on. Yeah, that was great. You got anything there, Hodder?
Pardon?
You got anything there you want to add?
I know maybe a little shout out for you and your snow stakes. That's a pretty sick opportunity for that.
Good one.
I seen the hat there, right? So
you got a couple fresh ones sent to us.
Nice. Yeah, no, they work wicked. We've been using them all winter so far, and even with this snow.
I had a call, man, and it was last week, and we were just brainstorming on next year what our plan is, right, with Canada and the snow stakes, and I brought up out there, and he goes, "I gotta say, man, I don't even want to hear a call from out there because I don't care what's out there with how much snow they got. Nothing's acting how it should be perfectly. It doesn't matter what stake, what machine, what car, what you're doing. It's never gonna be perfect out there with the conditions, right?" But I said, I haven't had anyone call. I said,
I've been super impressed. I have snow stakes still standing up through all that snow, popping right back up. Yeah. Like all you could see the first night, it was like the tip of them, like maybe an inch. That's how deep the snow was on those 40. I think they're 42s I bought from you, or 48s. But either way,
46, I think,
or 46. Yeah, so there would probably be like 6 inches, and there's probably like an
which
inch
a lot
showing.
of the people out your way did. They all went 46. There was a lot of people out your way.
Yeah, because after I told them, I seen them around. People were like, "Where the hell did you get those?" And I'm like, call this guy. He's the guy." And no, they're wicked. They've been holding up awesome.
No, that's good.
Yeah. So
I take 30 seconds from you here, but we'll be we're going to be still the main distributor in Canada for Plowright Marking Stakes next year. We will be stocking a solid 50,000 to start the fall. So we will have every color, kind, and tool and bag and anything you can think of to start next year. To give you an idea, we did 7,000 stakes the first year we sold them, and we did 59,000 last year.
50?
Wow.
Jeez.
What a jump.
So we're on pace to be comfortable that we're going to do another 50 and plus.
At least.
But the thing is just, I said to them, the reason why they won't sell to Canada is because it's insanely hard getting them across the border, doing everything. It's a nightmare. So that's why we're the main distributor, and so we're just gonna go again next year with it, and we're just gonna stock so heavily that we're not which we got close to the end of the season where it was like, oh, we don't have orange, we don't have green,
right?
Because it was into December and people were still ordering, but it was like, I don't want to sit on 20,000 stakes in my shop. We have to buy them off the hop and then adjust. So we're gonna do a solid start in the beginning, and then we'll run the marketing for that nicely, and we'll go another year with them. So they've been great for us, and I'm glad that more people are seeing it and being like, oh, these are a little different.
Even compared to going to buy one at a store or whatever, it's cheaper in the long run to buy those and then just buy the tool and stuff. And
because even if you have to people ask me, they're like, oh, do they get broken? And I said, I will never tell you that this stake is going to be the most indestructible thing in the world. There's no material out there that says it's not going to ever break. Like a fiberglass, a wooden one, it's going to snap. There's going to be times where it snaps, right? But this will definitely be superior to the normal stake that we're used to. It's cheaper too. But if you buy 500, 600 stakes, for example, and next year you got to replace 50 to 100,
that's pretty good.
I mean, that's only 50. That's if they're running, if you buy them when we have our discounts and stuff, or multi-packs, or you buy them at the beginning of the season when we have some sales on, you're like $1 a stake.
Yeah.
So it's like you got to spend $50 in the year to addition, but all the ones you already bought, you still reusing.
Yeah. No, it's like I said, I'll be buying more, and like because we use them on probably like 3/4 of our properties, and then we just kept adding more this year. So now we'll know how many. And I find too, like the amount of less grass and everything that has been tore up this year after using them has been
so $50 or $100 that you had to spend next year to add more. You already had more sites. Maybe you buy one more pack, which is $200. So you spend a couple $100 more because you added more sites because you grew as a company.
Yep.
But then too, how much money did you just save in labor and fuel, and everything, and grass seed and topsoil to go and fix all these properties or curbs. You want to talk about grass? Start fixing curbs.
Yeah.
Having guys go out and fixing concrete curbs and stuff, or whatever it is, or. But it's cool because the colors, in which we talked about when I had my last call. The colors is so cool because for us, we mark all our walkways with orange. We do all our perimeters of the properties with green, and we do all our hydrants with red.
Nice.
So I can say, hey guys, we got to go clear hydrants tonight. They have an idea where they all are, but look for the red reflective 46-inch stakes when you're out there. My sidewalk guys, if they go to a new site, maybe we have a new guy added, we have this, that. They just look for those orange reflective stakes, and they know, there's another walkway there. When you get into your drifts like you're talking about, you get into higher drifts, you get a couple inch storm, but you got a 6-8 inch drift. That orange walkway, be like, oh my God, there's a walkway there. I didn't even see it because you just drifted across it. But now to say, hey, sidewalk guys, look for those orange stakes, right?
Yeah. No,
and it's even cool with speed bumps now. We're like thinking on the sides, like where we have some speed bumps, putting like maybe another color, blue. Now that when you're plowing, if you see a blue reflective stake in the grass, that means there's a speed bump under that snow. Like just different things to be able to color coordinate. And
then if you carry that through every site, it doesn't matter if you send you or whoever to a different site.
Exactly.
They know that it's the same kind of pattern.
They know what those stake colors are for. Right.
No, that's a really good,
smart,
good setup. But even for ours, like we picked up a bunch of driveways because like we were probably the only people using stakes at first, and the guys were out putting stakes in. So I was like, the little tool, the hammer down tool, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like people are watching that like after fighting with their own stakes, and they're like, that's genius. Yeah. And then they come over and they start talking to you, and the next thing you know, we sell them a driveway package. So it's like it works all the way around, right? So it's good little.
And it's to throw those on residential too. Like you can get a color, like if you did green or something, it's visible for you when you got to do the work, but it doesn't stand out that much when it's not snowing. Like green on green grass behind it's not like an eyesore, where it's definitely cool. And they've stood up for us, and we believe in it, and the guys are good over there, and it's
I'm a user. I'm a believer. I think they work wicked, and like I said, people just keep asking, so I just keep sending them.
Nice.
Send them your way.
The tool, man. The tool is cool.
Yeah.
Like flying through properties and just some of the comments on the videos we make, they're like Robin Hood and stuff because the guy's like pulling the next stake out and throwing it on his thing, and then
you did a video of you were going around pulling it out of the back. It looked so easy.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Oh, it's simple, right? So it's definitely saves. The biggest thing is saving the damage on the property, right?
Right.
And at any point, any of those guys can go on the site and know where certain stakes are and what the meaning is for it. And
right.
To be honest, man, as a company too, like you kind of stand out. Like
absolutely,
like looking across the street and being like, they don't got anything like that, but these guys showed up in November, staked our whole property. They're here to prevent damage, make it easier on their guys, and this, like, it stands out, man.
Yeah. Oh, totally. So that's good. Cool. Well, where can everyone find you, Tyler, on socials?
Yeah, Instagram's our biggest one, I guess, most interactive. I try to keep up with TikTok, but there's a lot of stuff that goes through there that I don't always catch, just the notifications. As you know, some videos go off and you're like, oh, you get drowned in the notifications. But
Gong show.
As far as easiness to follow us, to see the most I post in the back end or the behind the scenes footage is all Instagram. And Instagram would be 519 Property Maintenance, and that's the same on TikTok as well. We're on Facebook as well, but the biggest thing, I guess, the most interactive we are is Instagram. It seems to be the cleanest format right now to be able to communicate with other companies.
Yeah, I agree.
So
I know you get some crazy people on TikTok, let me tell you, as you know.
I think we have like a couple hundred requests sometimes, and I'm like, it just requests, and it's just like they're like sending you waves, and like I don't know if that, I'm like, I'm not answering all these people, like it's just too much going on here.
Thank you, but see you later.
Yeah. Where at least Instagram, it's you can actually send a real message or a question.
Yeah,
we try, and I'm sure you guys try to answer everyone, but you can't get to every comment. I try to.
Challenging.
I try to.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so do we, but it can be a lot.
I try to stay busier too. It's hard in the winter. I will say it's harder in the winter when you got 12 guys texting you, asking you about things, and you got snow pounding down. You can't see out the window, and it's hard to keep up to date because we do get messages. Hey, you guys got to post more, and it's like, I'm trying, but it's also, we're still running a business over here.
I still got to do the work. I know.
Yeah.
Still got to get it.
But we're hopefully this year we're more structured in the sense that I kind of freed myself from a lot of the out in the field stuff. So hopefully,
you post
more stuff.
You post pretty consistently, and been following you for a while.
Stories for sure. So try to keep up. I try to show some back end stuff that you're definitely not seeing everyone post. Like whether it's something broken or this or that, the weather or this, like just different things that maybe someone looks at our highlight reel and they go, oh, this looks so easy, we're gonna get into lawn care and snow removal because look how easy it is and it looks so good. I know. They don't realize the 3 flat tires in one night from mowing trailers and this and that, and it's like there's a lot to it, man. A
lot more than just mowing and pushing snow. Oh, that's good.
It's good, though.
Nice. Awesome, guys. Well, thanks so much for listening. We appreciate it. Make sure you like and subscribe the pod so we can keep doing this. And thanks again, Tyler, for coming on. We really appreciate it. So good chatting.
Appreciate it, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Awesome. All right. We'll see you guys next week.
We want to thank you for listening to the Crooked Stripes podcast. If you liked this episode of the pod, subscribe, rate, and leave a review. It's very much appreciated. Head over to Instagram and follow @The Crooked Stripes. From there, stay up to date on all things lawn, landscaping, and snow removal. Don't forget to join us next week for another episode of The Crooked Stripes. Thanks again for listening.